Some miraculous villains are ridiculously overpowered, and others are honestly useless. So I rewatched every episode of season 1 and ranked every Akumatised villain from weakest to strongest. This is based on 1v1 fight, meaning anyone high on the list can beat everyone below them. And most importantly, I'm giving everyone their vital instruments.
They'll never see me coming, Hawkmoth.
Sabrina really gets the bottom of the barrel when it comes to both acclimatizations and miraculouses, because her powers are good only when the opponent is off guard. The only possible way she could challenge people higher than her is to snatch their acclimatized objects before they notice, but that wouldn't work on most villains. Even Reflector just needs to blast her once to neutralize her powers, and she is so downplayed that she had to share an episode with a more iconic villain like Antibug.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Reflector has the power to turn people into her. I personally found this really disappointing because I thought Julika would get some kind of ghostly power to match her goth aesthetic. Power-wise, she has no weapon or offensive capability besides the regular enhanced strength, so Reflector stays here.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Horrificator follows a common trend in early season 1 villains. Decent power but massive weakness. She can spit sticky substances from her mouth, grows bigger when people are afraid of her, and smaller when people aren't. Honestly, I found Horrificator more disgusting than terrifying. Now, when it comes to characters in general that can control animals, it really depends on how many can be controlled at a time. Cause if Mr. Pigeon had enough pigeons to fill the whole Paris, that would be a different story. But he doesn't. And the man has lost 72 times, so that's a bit telling.
No one will love again!
This one is a bit controversial, but Dark Cupid is one of the weaker villains. Think about it. His powers are to make people hateful and malicious, useful to create Akuma victims, but pointless in a one-on-one fight. If anything, the hate arrows would just make his opponents more aggressive when fighting him. He's above Mr. Pigeon because of the fact that he could use his pigeons against him.
Yes, sir.
What really annoys me with Roger Cobb is he has the potential to be a very strong villain. He looks big and powerful, but when it comes down to his powers, he just forces people to obey commands, but doesn't brainwash them, meaning they could still talk and maybe even try and resist. Aside from that, he seems a bit slow and robotic in his movements. That's a major issue when going up against the more agile, miraculous villains.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Animal can become any animal, living or extinct, making him very adaptable. It's a real shame he has such a stupid weakness. He gets tired when he uses his power too much. I mean, using that logic, shouldn't all Akumatized villains get tired when they use their powers too much? It's honestly such an unnecessary addition, but due to that, he lands here on the list.
Okay, Hawkmoth.
Stoneheart is the first person Gabriel ever Akumatized, so I can cut him some slack for the lack of creativity. If you're not new to my channel, you'd know that I try to fix the miraculous powers, and I linked the video above. You should definitely check it out. And in that rewrite, I give the Ox Miraculous Stoneheart powers, because to me, that fits better with the concept of resistance. But compared to the more versatile skill sets, it comes off a bit bland, and giants are generally easier to trip, so Stoneheart is here.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Now on to the most forgettable villain in the whole season 1, Pixelator. I almost forgot to add him to this list, and that's saying something because I remember the Vanisher. With the camera lens on his eye, he can shoot out lasers that trap whoever touches it in picture frames. But there's a loophole, apparently. If the lasers hit your limbs, it will just make them phase through. That's the only reason I could come up with Ladybug getting hit twice and not being pixelated. That and plot armor, of course. So he's definitely a lower tier fighter.
The very thought of it makes me purr.
Copycat has roughly equal stats as early season 1 Cat Noir. In their duel, he seemed to have a slight edge before Ladybug intervened. Not to mention Cataclysm is one of the most powerful abilities in the series. But there is one glaring weakness when it comes to Copycat. He has a one-time power use, which comes with the standard 5-minute timer. That makes me wonder what would happen if the time ran out. Would the Akuma just leave the object and purify itself? Or would we get a reverse universe situation, giving him multiple tries because he's using it for evil? Regardless, Copycat is mid-tier at best.
You can count on me, Hawkmoth.
From the fake Cat Noir to the fake Ladybug, being a supervillain with Ladybug's powers, alongside the pesky time limits, she has to be somewhat high. She's above Copycat because of how easily she defeated Cat Noir.
It would be my pleasure pleasure, Hawkmoth.
And the final miraculous themed villain, Volpina. The more I think about the power of illusions, the more I realize how weak it is if not used by a smart holder. Luckily, Lila doesn't fall on the stupid side. But the only reason I put her before Antibug and Copycat is the fact that she can use her powers as many times as she wants. But that doesn't really matter when faced with higher tier combatants.
You got it, Hawkmoth.
It's nice to see Alex has always been associated with time, but these powers have too many terms and conditions. She needs to touch people to gain speed and battery to go back in time. She's above all these people because they are either close range or don't have an attack that can put her down.
I'll expose the lies of anyone who covers up the truth. Sign me up.
Lady Wi-Fi is already a decent villain, but the fact I'm giving her constant access to a Wi-Fi signal removes her major weakness. She has the ability to project images, teleport via phones, pause people or lock their limbs, and even use icons as hoverboards. In summary, she's very versatile, but falls short in her agility.
What does this button do?
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Bubbler is surprisingly a major threat. When I was writing the script, I expected Bubbler to be on the lower tier because the concept of a bubble-themed villain was just ridiculous to me. But when I watched the Bubbler again, I learned A. His bubbles are practically indestructible, B. He's incredibly agile, and C. I guess his bubble staff can be used as a sword.
I will show I am greatest chef in the world!
From this point in the list, the matchups get harder to decide. Kung Fu has access to 4 minions and an unlimited supply of food-like weapons. He's a powerful villain, but he's outclassed by the more powerful villains and people with mind control.
When the flag bearing the emblem of mine ancestors lies once again upon the roof of City Hall, then to thee I shall indeed be indebted.
Though he would be more powerful with his army, I'm choosing to consider him alone because he had to manually build it. But aside from that, he's agile and a good sword fighter. A direct blast to the face from his sword is basically the end of the match, because from then on, you become his loyal soldier.
I'm coming, my prince!
I have a tendency to underrate rules in any of our forms, but even I have to admit Princess Fragrance is a real threat. A single whiff of her perfume automatically puts you under her mind control. But like all perfumes, hers is flammable. So any villain with a lighter or a vacuum cleaner could beat her. The mime can make anything he can mime out, but only one at a time. Not to mention how strong he is, being able to carry the Eiffel Tower, making him the physically strongest villain in size to body ratio, at least in season 1. But that isn't enough to beat people higher than him.
Let's rock!
What puts Guitar Villain this high is the fact that he has Fang, which most people tend to forget when ranking him. On his own, he has access to sound waves that can blast people away or make them dance uncontrollably, while Fang can fly and shoot green flames, a duo that definitely deserves top tier.
Simon says yes.
Once again, mind control is superior to other powers. Simon Says can make people do whatever he says when one of his cards come in contact with them. The cards seem to be infinite, but they can be destroyed, deflected, or dodged, making him not unstoppable.
Absolutely, Hawkmoth. Game on! Now they'll see who's the greatest gamer in Paris!
The gamer with access to all his levels is one of the more powerful villains. In this ranking, I'm going to assume he can access all his levels. So with missiles, force fields, and a giant mech, I don't see him losing to anyone below him on this list.
My precious Nefertiti will come back to life.
Pharaoh has 3 main powers: strength, flight, and mummification, but can't use all 3 at once. The most lethal one being mummification, a one-hit KO. The only counter to him is to overwhelm him physically or outsmart him logically.
Just tell me what you want.
Evil Illustrator and Capricade essentially have the same power, and if you watch my ranking the Miraculous Hoarders video, you'd know I didn't really rank him so highly. What makes the difference is his erasing power. Could just erase his opponent's weapon or power source, making him a strong but underrated villain. He's only hindered by his reliance on a light source.
Yes!
Stormy Weather was the first official episode of Miraculous Ladybug, and it managed to pull in a lot of viewers, like myself. So it goes without saying that Stormy Weather is one of the more powerful villains. She can control the weather, and the only reason I put her above Evil Illustrator is she can cause instant darkness with her thunder clouds, a direct weakness of his.
bring you their miraculouses. I know!
Making her number 1 might be a bit controversial, but hear me out. In this hypothetical ranking, she has control of Evil Illustrator, Lady Wi-Fi, Roger Cop, and maybe Cat Noir. This squad could beat all the other villains, even though realistically, Evil Illustrator carries this team. That's my ranking of every season 1 Akumatised villain, but I already know some of you are going to disagree. So tell me in the comments who you think should be number 1. And if you're interested in other miraculous content, I think you'd like the videos on the screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe.